Now let's discuss about gRPC. So gRPC is a high performance open source framework developed by Google that facilitates communication between distributed systems. So it's basically an open source RPC framework. It's the evolved concept of RPC, the gRPC. So gRPC is an evolved design of the more generic concept of the RPC. So the concept of RPC is that RPC allows calling method like it is the local method, but the calling is done from the remote server. So for example, there are two servers and one method is available on server A and the server B is calling that method of server A. So the server B would be calling the server A's method like it has this method locally available. So the gRPC's technical features involve the utilization of HTTP2 protocol and the HTTP2 features like multiplexing or binary framing or stream prioritization, etc. So these features are available for gRPC because it is utilizing the HTTP2. Other than this, it uses the protocol buffers, the protobuf. So the protobuf is like an interface description language. Protobuf is used for defining service methods and messages, which are then be used to generate client and server code. Then we have security. So gRPC supports authentication and encryption mechanisms. So gRPC has a strong support for security. Let's discuss gRPC with this diagram. The client makes the HTTP request to the server and the server responds with the requested resource. So here, unlike the rest, where the payload format or the data format is JSON or XML, in gRPC, its protocol buffers or also called the protobufs. So protobuf is a language agnostic data format. It is not dependent on any language and it's used to serialize the structured data. So protobuf file is being shared among client and server both. So in case of gRPC, we will be defining a .proto file. So in the .proto file, we will be defining the messages and services. So the services are the RPC methods that can be called specifying the input and output message types. So the message is like this. Message contains the data structure and the fields, and the service contains the methods. So here you can see that the message is the user containing user ID or any name along with their data types, and the service contains the service name, and in the service name we would have the RPC methods. So the method is the get user, which is getting the request and returns the user object, and the user request is like a type called message and it contains the property of ID. So this way we can define a proto file which would be shared between client and server so that both understands what would be the input and what would be the output. In this case, proto file is being compiled into a language. So the proto file is language agnostic, but it would be used to generate the code in any specific language. So for example, if we are using .NET, then we will be generating this code. The proto file is compiled using the proto compiler into language specific code. This generates the necessary classes and methods for both the client and server to use the defined messages and services. In case if any user request is being sent by the client to the server, it is first serialized. So when the client makes a request, it creates an instance of the request message, for example the user request, and sets the necessary fields. This message is serialized into a binary format using protobuf, and then the request would be sent to the server. Once the server receives the request, the server would be deserializing this object. So the client has serialized the object and sent. Now server will deserialize this object into the actual user request object, and because the proto file is also available to the server, now it can recognize this request and would be processing the method of get user and will be sending the response back to the client. Now it will first serialize the response and then it will release it. Once the client would receive the response, it will be deserializing that response and it would be getting the response object. So this way the gRPC works.